All right, what I want to talk about now is applying multiple materials to a single object. And then what we'll get into is actually creating different materials for the same instance. So we have multiple materials going on different objects, but the objects are still instanced together and still are able to manipulate and model and mold them the way you need to. So we'll start off with this basic texture here. I select it, and then I apply it, and then I show it. And there's our texture. But now let's say we want to actually put this material on a couple other faces. Well, that's where we get into material IDs. To affect the material IDs, to alter the material IDs in the actual 3D space or on the object, you need to actually have, make it an editable poly. So I'll convert it to editable poly. And I go to the polygon mode. I can select the polygons I want to change. And right now, actually, if I just go ahead and select on one polygon, we have the ID that's set to 1 right now. That one, that's 5, 3, 2, 6. So the last object I made, we had 3 different material IDs. This one actually has 6 material IDs. So even though I have 6 material IDs, there's only 1 material applied to it at the moment. So I go here and apply those faces, select these faces. I can apply this and make sure I show it. And now I have 2 textures on 1 object. Now I can select on this one, material ID 2, material ID 2, material ID 2. That's been designated because this material has been placed on the actual object. I have a strong suspicion that these are still going to be different numbers. No, these all have applied to a single number also through the actual process of applying a second material to this object. Now if I make an instance of this, the IDs of course go with it, and I can change one ID and it'll affect both objects. And now the neat thing is that the materials can be completely separate. So if I go here and apply this material to this object and show, now I have all this on here. And if I go here, since it's still one material, that should be 1. That should be 1. So 1. There's 2. So this should be 2, and this 1. So that's 2 there. Yeah. So these are my second material IDs that match this one. I can still change these. Change that to 1, and it affects here because it's still an instance. Now if I go select these faces, and let's undo that real quick. There we go. Select those faces again. Go to this object. I can apply this to here and show, and now I've got an instance of an object. I can just quickly affect my object and both objects, but they have different materials. So materials do not follow the instance. You have to be careful about this. Typically a good thing to do if you're going to be doing a lot of instances such as like the walls, apply the materials, apply the UVs, and then instance it. That gives you less work. So one step's done throughout all the objects. Now the neat thing about 3ds Max is that there's a lot of ways for this material information to be displayed. When we're actually trying to get multiple materials on here, say I want to actually move faster than just applying face to face to face, I want to apply to objects. What 3ds Max is going to offer you is a multi-sub material. If I go to eyedropper, I can click on my object and it'll bring the material, get it all out of the way. And this is the multi-sub material I'm talking about. This allows you to set up material IDs on the material itself, and it's just basically, it will match whatever the actual object has in the 3D space, and you can apply set numbers. If I were to make a new set of materials and apply it, this actual multi-sub material will get replaced by another one. All it is a bucket holding the materials that are actually being displayed in the 3D space.